You're about to hear the end of a conversation that Anthony and I have had. Are you ever curious about what we're talking about? Well, you can hear all of those conversations because those conversations in full are delivered to our patrons.
Yep, you head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. You get all that bonus audio. You can also get early episodes and hangouts and secret mail. Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns to find out how.
Did you nightfall already? You've nightfalled.
Oh yeah, but there's a new nightfall.
Every week's a new nightfall.
Every week is a new nightfall, and that's what my father, Batman, used to say to me. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. Jeff, you're a dad now.
I am.
Are you constantly thinking about
everything?
Yeah,
Constantly.
what everything you do,
yes.
What all the input into your child turns into in terms of output.
Absolutely. Stress levels are through the roof. Is this the moment I screw him up forever? Oh, no. This is the moment. Did I just drop him on his head? Did he just trip and fall and hit something? And now
is he trapped in a well? Yeah. How long has he been trapped in the well?
Who's to say?
I should really call somebody about this. My son who's in a well. It's been 48 hours. But who do I call?
There's a new nightfall every week.
There's a new nightfall raid. And also, I don't even know what department of the city to call about children in wells.
Yeah.
Is it water and power?
It does seem like it could be water and power.
It's not the police because there's not a crime happening. Except for negligence, which now I definitely don't want to call the police.
Yeah,
it's not fire because wells is water.
It's a tricky wicket.
Yeah, more nightfall.
No, you're right. I definitely stress about all the things that you could be doing. Am I spending too much time with him?
Mm-hmm.
Helicopter parenting. Am I not spending enough time? Not doing the right kinds of things.
He doesn't even do anything yet.
Oh, he does stuff, dude.
I mean,
he's a year old now, baby.
Yeah, but I mean,
does things.
I mean, he does things, but
he looks at shit.
But it's a limited number of things.
Yeah, but that's
you're not even in
more pressure on those things because the limited number means each one holds more weight.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. That's how math works.
One book for him. I've in my life read hundreds of books.
Yeah.
This is book 6.
We get it. You're smart.
This is book 6 for my kid.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure on book 6.
Yeah.
Ever.
That book has to be that's 15, 17% of the books that he's read in his life.
It's an insane amount of information contained there.
Yeah,
that's a window into the world he's never seen. There's cats in hats now. First of all, what's a cat? Second of all, what's a hat?
Now hats he should know. He's a year old.
He wears hats.
Okay.
To go outside, you got to cover that noggin. But he's never seen a cat.
So
he's literally never seen a cat other than a drawing by Dr. Seuss.
Oh, that's not correct. You got it, because the first time he sees a cat, he's going to be very disappointed.
Very disappointed.
And see, these are the things you have to worry about. There was a study recently. Something that I think about a lot is praise. We get a lot of garbage articles about how, particularly our generation. Well, sorry, my generation. Your generation is, of course, the greatest generation, and we thank you for your service.
Not accurate.
But for my generation. Fidget spinners, Snapchat, all
right,
that,
young, cool thing.
There's this idea that we were overpraised. We were given participation trophies.
Yeah, everybody gets a trophy.
And now we're ruined.
Well,
we were praised too much and it made us soft.
Right.
Whereas,
you can't argue with the results.
The reason was the previous generation was underpraised and became too hard.
Right.
Right. And so what is the appropriate amount of feedback in any situation?
Bear porridge bowl of praise.
What's that porridge bowl, dog? How are you going to make a porridge bowl kid?
We need that porridge bowl kid.
Oh, porridge boy. Porridge boy with your weird melty complexion. Everything about you is perfect except your consistency.
Yeah.
You're too goopy to be a human. You have too few hats to be a cat.
What are you?
What are you, porridge boy?
So well adjusted, though.
So well adjusted, so polite.
He's so fine about his goopiness.
There was a study that was done by an international team of researchers and published in Psychological Science that is about basically what happens when you tell a kid you're smart versus you're so smart versus you did very well this time. Very small things, right? Very subtle changes.
I've heard this before. It's something my wife and I have talked about, is that you're not supposed to compliment innate ability. You're not supposed to say you're so pretty, you're so handsome, you're so smart. It's not about innate things. It's about you tried hard this time.
Yeah.
You really used your patience. You really good job on effort and all that stuff. Right?
Excellent performance.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
I recognize that it was difficult, but you persevered. Good job.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
This is kind of based on this research and what you've heard and what this study is about is based on research by a Stanford researcher, Carol Dweck. She's the author of a book called Mindset. And she showed that praising a child's innate ability instead of effort has the unintended consequence of reducing their motivation to learn and their ability to deal with setbacks.
I don't have to because I'm smart.
I'm smart. Or
it was already there the whole time. I'm smart. I don't have to do anything.
Or
smart.
I'm so good at this. Why would I do anything else?
Right.
Or I'm so good at this and I'm so bad at this. So I'm just going to keep doing this thing that I'm good at.
Right.
Because it frustrates me that I'm so good at this and not this secondary thing when all I've gotten is praise about this first thing.
Interesting.
So the present study shows that there is also a moral dimension to these different kinds of praise and that it affects children at younger ages than previously known.
Wow.
Here's what's up. The thesis of this study is basically kids praised for being smart are more likely to cheat.
Wow. I'm smart, so I better do well. And if I don't know how to do well, I'm going to cheat my way into doing well.
Because of the pressure that's put on me because I've been told so many times that I'm so smart.
You know,
I'm Jesse Spano and I am so excited. I have got to take these caffeine pills because there's finals tomorrow
Jesse,
and the big dance competition at the Max.
Oh.
And I'm so excited.
Jesse.
I'm so excited, Zach.
That's going to lead
I'm so scared.
It's going to lead you to a striptease.
Kids, ask your parents. So here's what's up. Researchers asked 300 children to play a guessing game using number cards. So there are
the weird thing is they just rolled up to them in vans to ask them this.
Yeah, hey
which
kid.
I think as a methodology, not the best.
I have number cards in here. You want to get in? Thank God.
300
It wasn't
children.
candy because none of those children got in. It's like, I have number cards and kids are like, that is absolutely not something I ever wanted.
I'm not even tempted by that.
So 150 of them were 3-year-olds, 150 of them were 5-year-olds. And they were praised.
Fuck you, 4-year-olds.
Yeah. They were praised for either being smart or for their performance. A control group got no praise at all.
Oh, the sad control group.
That control group was called Anthony Carboni as a child.
How did I do?
Yeah, you did.
Dead silence.
You did.
You did.
You did,
but
and
I
now
wanted to do well.
Yeah, you did, and you did a thing, and now we're doing the next thing.
Can I get some feedback on how I did that thing, though?
To completion. So, after praising the children and getting them to promise not to cheat, the researcher left the room for a minute in the middle of the game, and then the kids were recorded by a hidden camera.
Oh, kids, always look for hidden camera.
Kids, listen to me.
There's one thing I'm teaching my 1-year-old.
Mhm.
It's scan the room for hidden cameras.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Mark your exits. Scan the room for hidden cameras.
And also, sit with your back to a wall. There should be no exit behind you, and you should always be able to see the only way into a room.
And a little bit of Krav Maga.
And also,
tiny bit of Krav Maga.
Don't let anybody tell you that because we're an Italian family, we're in organized crime. That is a stereotype.
Yes.
And if anybody says that to you, you let me know, and I'll go see who their dad is.
I'm going to use a little Krav Maga on them.
I'll find out who it is. Don't worry. We'll take care of it. So the 3 and 5-year-olds who were praised for being smart were more likely, when left alone in the room, to peek at the cards to see what numbers were coming next, to guess correctly.
Okay, smart kids know how to cheat.
They were more likely to act dishonestly than the ones praised for how well they did, or those who got no praise at all. Boys and girls, same results across the board.
Wow.
This is not a gendered thing.
Right.
This is simply
smart kid, dumb kid thing.
It's yeah. Let me tell you something. If my kid cheated, how would I feel if my kid cheated? Well, at this, I wouldn't care because it was a scientific study and not like it was just like, oh, it was a behavioral study and my kid cheated. Fine.
I think it reveals behavior that they're not going to it's not going to be isolated to this scientific study.
As a parent, and I understand for you as a parent, cheating has to always be wrong.
Right.
But in the back of our minds, I think we know cheating is sometimes okay.
I don't know. In the context of a classroom, I don't know. Can I be really honest with you?
Yeah.
definitely a kid that heard he was smart a lot when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I cheated a lot.
Did you?
I looked at other people's papers. I was a kid who coasted through school and things came easily to me. And I've never told anybody this. When I didn't know something, which I was the kid who would put his hand up first. I was good at bullshitting my way through things that I was underprepared for. I could just talk my way around it and make it seem like I knew what I was talking about. If I didn't read the assignment or do a thing, I could get by on my communication skills and my sort of innate ability to sense what the teacher wanted. And when it was time for a test, and if I hadn't prepared, there were times when I definitely looked on other people's papers. I definitely did that.
Yeah.
Well, at a certain age, I mean, that was like, fairly young, maybe up through, grade school.
Maybe up through 30, 35.
Yeah. I'm up to like, yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it. And I wish that I hadn't been like that. And I did, in college and stuff, I really discovered a love of learning and love of challenging myself. But I definitely think I am in the wheelhouse for what this study is talking about.
Yeah, I could definitely feel that. I was put into the gifted program when I was very young.
Me too.
And I always felt like I was smart, but maybe not as smart as the kids in the gifted program, but I was always being told that I was exceptional.
Yeah.
And so I felt a little bit of pressure to always be right.
Yeah.
But I went the other way with it and just fucked off all the time and got into drugs.
Well,
it was a great way to go, I think.
Direction.
I had a good time. But yeah, I definitely felt that pressure. And I do think...
I don't remember feeling pressure.
But I also felt like, well, not like a pressure, not like an external pressure, but maybe like an internal pressure. Like, I'm supposed to be smart.
Right.
I'm supposed to know this. I can't get this wrong.
Yeah.
It was more like me beating up on myself. And I think that's what they're talking about, is that connection to praise.
I think there was an element in my head that I'm not proud of that was like, I'm so smart that I don't have to do what other people have to do. And I can get
for
by.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
That
it's a shitty perspective.
I expect that to go away in me like next week, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that is that sort of what we were talking about everybody gets a trophy too, is like that sense of entitlement of like, I deserve the A, which is so gross. It's such a gross way to think, but I deserve an A even though I didn't do the work.
Yeah.
Because of who I am.
I would rather have a kid that definitely works hard to get the A and understands that like you have to work hard to get the A.
Yeah.
But barring that, I would like my kid to do that all the time. But if that kid does fall short, even though they worked hard, I would also like my kid to be the kind of kid who will argue and try to get that A anyway. You know what I mean?
Do you want the end result? You're just results oriented?
No. If my kid gets a B or a C, but they worked as hard as they could, that's fine with me.
Right.
But listen, if you worked as hard as you could and you got a C, and you think you can talk your way into a B, like give it a shot. Because you already worked hard. You did the thing.
Yeah.
You tried your best.
I mean, that's a hard metric to
It's really... a tough metric.
Yeah.
But this, I think, is what makes a successful adult.
Well, sadly, that's
right?
true. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I'm wondering about based on this study is, okay, so we know that we should only praise people for the work that they do, for the things that they try, for putting in the effort, for you, not, oh my God, you're so smart, but you did so well on this test. You worked really hard and you clearly have an understanding of what was on this test. Good job. Like that's it. That's great. At what age do you try to impart into your child that there really are shades of gray in the world?
That is a great question, because I feel like I was going to say that I didn't realize that until much older, but I feel like maybe I still haven't realized how, to the extent that exists in the world. I live in a very black and white. That's not true. I don't live in a black and white, but I do live. I have an idealized vision of the world that I think is unrealistic.
You have a very you have a very good moral and ethical core, and you know when you've worked hard, you know when you deserve things, you know when you've been treated fairly, and when you're treating others fairly.
And I also expect other people to act in good faith based on that criteria, and too often people just aren't.
Exactly, and I feel like
it always comes as a shock to me when it shouldn't.
So here's where I'm coming from, and this will kind of show you how my worldview came to be. My mother is an early childhood educator. She's a teacher. She comes from a line of teachers, social workers, doctors, people who do the work and do the good and believe that other people should do the work within the system and do the good.
Right.
My father has a PhD that he got based on a undergrad degree that was fake.
I remember you telling me this story. Yeah.
My dad has a real PhD.
Right.
But not a real undergrad degree. And my dad worked at NASA. He was an engineer. He helped build the lunar lander.
Right.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Worked hard, deserves what he got. Did not do it the way the system told him to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're sort of the working from influence on both ends.
Yeah. And my father was very anti-school system.
Wow.
So
even sort of overtly to you expressing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so they would get called into parent-teacher conferences quite a bit. And my dad would be like, well, why does it matter? He'd be like, well, why does it matter that my son did this? If my son did it and he got the answer that you wanted, then fuck off.
Yeah.
Or why does he have to treat you that way? Who are you?
Right.
How are you treating him?
Yeah.
I
don't see any of that behavior in you.
No.
None of that
Definitely not.
Down.
But so for me, it's very much listen, I'm going to work. I think the way it turned out for me is you work hard, you do the best you can, you treat people fairly, but if the system is stacked against you,
right,
be aware of that and figure out a way around that for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I want my kid to lean and look at these number cards when somebody walks out of the room? No, I don't. But I also in the back of my mind know that my algebra tests never mattered. And I did cheat. And if this kid is able to cheat and get away with it, cool. If you cheat, never tell me you cheated. Never tell me you cheated. Yeah. Never get caught. And if you get caught, you're going to get punished.
What a fucked up rule system
but that's the way life is, right?
Yeah.
That's
fucked up too.
Yeah. It's really weird because I don't think I would be super angry at my kid for cheating on a test. I think I would be angry that he felt like he or she felt like they needed to cheat.
Right.
Or that they didn't put the work in. That's what I would be sad about. But the cheating on an obligatory, on some sort of obligatory, here's the bar, get through the school system, which is garbage and underfunded and terrible anyway. Fine, dude, whatever.
This is going to sound
weird. It's weird, I know.
Yeah, this is going to sound really hypocritical, especially in light of me saying that I cheated when I was in grade school. But I have certainly come to, as we've established, to come to this very moral position. And a lot of what's happening in the world on a global scale, on a political scale, people say, well, why don't the Democrats fight dirty like the right wing seems to, and do whatever it takes to win. Winning is the only thing that matters. And I definitely cling still to a methodology matters, and doing the right thing, even on a losing cause, is important. Treating people with decency and the whole we go high when they go low.
Yes.
People are like, that didn't work. We go high when they go low. It fucking failed. So we have to go low. Yeah. And I say no. I'm still clinging to an idealistic methodology that if we compromise
because those people are nihilistically idealistic, if that makes sense.
I think that describes me.
No, but they are well, we went high and they went low, and it didn't work. So you obviously can never do the right thing. And it's no, now you're doing an ends justifies the means thing,
right,
which is different than what I'm saying. What I'm saying is well, we went high and they went low and they still won. It's okay, well, now we need to figure out if that is true. Now we need to figure out what systemically is the problem, because the system is stacked against us. And now we need to fix the system and find a good way around this system.
Okay, I think that's an admirable stance, but I think a lot of people say, you aren't going to change the system, so you got to work within this shitty system to get the ends that you want. Yeah,
and I think here's where certainly not, they are not angel and devil on my shoulder, but they are two different perspectives, my mom and my dad, right? Yeah. My mother will tell me, work within the system as much as you can to change it, but then my father's side of the thing will tell me, try to find the idea that will kind of blow up the system a little bit. and kind of mess with. And that's why, like, for me, it's not so much about like we went high, they went low. For me, it's about like, well, the two-party system is a cancer that's destroying America. So how do we fix the two-party system?
Yeah.
Because that to me is like, I don't feel like anybody's looking out for me on either side right now.
Yeah.
There is no reason why I should have had to have done 3 phone call campaigns for 3 different versions of this healthcare thing.
Right.
Just to be sure that my representative is going to vote the same way all 3 times. My representative should know still how I feel.
Yeah.
No. If I don't call, it's not going to happen. And so that's why I'm like, well, the problem isn't we went high, they went low. The problem is both sides of the system right now are really, really messed up. And so now that system is a cancer. Anyway, we're kind of like...
You're a far field.
Yeah.
But so and to bring it back, do you think then that it is worthwhile to kind of adhere to what this study suggests, which is don't tell your kid that they're smart and instead say you worked hard? Or do you think that instills a sort of workman's mentality that holds you in place and makes you feel like you're never good enough?
So... And maybe this comes from, my mom being a teacher for such a long time. You can tell a kid that they're smart, right? I think you can absolutely tell a child that the child is smart. I think you don't tell a dumb child that they're smart. But I think if a child is
a dumb child, they're dumb.
Yeah, you tell a dumb child this is a waste of time for you. I'm sorry.
Right.
Maybe you should ride the rails for a little while.
Them a bindle.
Yeah.
And you hand them off
and a can of beans. And there are no circuses anymore, so that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But, there's still, I think you can still find hobo code in most train yards and they can learn to read that.
Yeah.
No, I think you can tell a child that they're smart, but I think you can also tell a child you're smart. Being naturally intelligent is not going to get you through life. You're very smart, and I think you can do so many things, but nobody can do everything without applying themselves. And you will find yourself disappointed and frustrated in yourself if you don't put the work in.
You will find yourself disappointed and frustrated. Full stop.
Full stop. But one day we will all be dead.
So there's that.
So here's what is it now? $1? Go buy yourself a bomb pop. I don't know. $5. How does life work? $20? Get a banana. How much can one banana cost, Michael?
Follow the cameras in the room.
Yeah, they're always watching you and monitoring your behavior.
That's right.
So always be on your best. No, I think that's the thing is you can be like, hey, you have to be realistic with a kid, and you have to figure out the way to be realistic with a kid. Yeah. If your kid is terrible at art. Or terrible at playing an instrument.
Right.
Here's what's up. My sister had some natural singing talent. I had some natural drawing talent. And my mother was very, very pragmatic.
You wanted to be a singer and she wanted to be an artist.
That's it.
Oh.
And let me tell you something. I am now a triple platinum album selling singer. And she's hanging in the Guggenheim.
Yeah.
So, and also my life is a Wes Anderson movie. And my mother is Angelica Houston, and she still won't praise either one of us. No, so my mother was like, my sister would try to draw, and my mother would say, hey, you don't have as much natural talent for this as your brother does.
Stop, you're embarrassing yourself. Look at your brother.
But if you keep working at it, if it's something you really love,
yeah,
you will get good, and you will get, maybe as good as him, or maybe you can, maybe as good as a professional.
Yeah.
It's like, but know that this is something that you'll have to work a little harder at than he does. The same way he will have to work a little harder at singing than you will. But you can both be good,
right?
If you put in work and effort.
Good message.
And I think that kind of jives with your personal philosophy.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of praising your kid too. Like, you did this very well.
Yeah.
You can do other things well too. Some things will be more work than others.
Right. Like everything.
Like everything will be work, and you'll be so tired. You'll be so tired all the time. So does this help, Jeff? Do you feel better about being a parent now?
I'm going to go home. I'm going to parent like a motherfucker.
Yeah. And remember, withhold all praise. I think
withhold all praise and let them toil in anonymity.
Mm-hmm. And when you die, make sure there's a look in their eyes as you're dying that really lets you know they're still not sure if you love them.
That was something they can carry forward from generation to generation.
Yeah.
It's just a questioning of their internal self-worth.
It's on the Carboni coat of arms in Latin. We don't know if we love you. There you go, son. How do you guys feel about this? Do you feel like did you receive enough praise? Did you receive the wrong kind of praise?
Cheat.
Did you cheat?
You can be honest with us.
You can be honest. You cheated.
You cheated.
We're fine. We're disappointed.
We're a country of cheaters.
We're a cheating country, and we're disappointed in others for doing the things that we do.
That's right.
Let us know on Twitter. I'm at @Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And you can hashtag those.
Porridge Boy.
Porridge Boy, the hero of us all.
He's goopy, but he doesn't mind.